Why you disrespecting?
Where?
In the Twitter.
What I said?
Whatever you say, why you disrespecting?
Because I want. What you can do?
Why you disrespecting? Why you disrespecting? Come here.
Because of I want. What you can do?
I will show you what I'm gonna do. I will show you. Come here.
I'm here.
Come here.
I will be in Vegas. Call me anytime.
Now come here. Now I'm here now. Now come here.
Come.
I'm gonna slap your ass.
Hey, here a lot of security. Call me. We're gonna see. Okay?
Okay, I will call you.
So Merab and Umar almost went to a decision backstage at the press conference. Well, actually, Umar does have more finishes than decisions in the UFC, but it was pretty funny. The back and forth was pretty funny. Khabib once famously said, "Send me location." Umar says, "I'll give you location. Meet me in Vegas anytime," which Merab responds with, "I'll slap your ass." Merab was about to say, "I'll call Aljo, will double decision you." So Merab left an interview, confronted Umar backstage of the press conference about the disrespect Umar has been throwing his way. And Merab's done this many times, right? Not even just fighters, he's done it to fans that disrespect him. He does not take it lightly at all. He's a fun guy, he makes comedy skits, he has like an energetic personality, but he gets a bit hot-headed if anyone disrespects him. And, credit to him, respect him for confronting Umar. And Merab's asking him, like, why you disrespect me? And then Umar's like, because I can and you can do nothing about it. Is Umar like the villain of the Nurmagomedov family? I mean, now it kind of makes sense when he was smirking when Merab was refusing to talk about him in the post-fight interview. Umar now looks like he was like the super villain waiting to be talked about. But that's going to make the press conference very interesting. There might be a lot of trash talk between Merab and Umar up there. Islam just going to sit there smiling. Armin just kind of confused of why they hate each other up there and just doing his own thing. And this is a very big fight for Merab, going up against Umar, who could be a big rival of his, on a card like UFC 311 headlined by Islam Makhachev. But I do think that Umar is the most difficult fight for Merab Dvalishvili in the bantamweight division. And Merab is looking very strong right now because he has the advantage against everybody, the cardio. No one can handle that cardio. His volume is insane. He's shooting takedowns more than anybody. I mean, he's shooting more takedowns in a fight than fighters have shot in all of their fights combined. But I do think Umar is the one fighter that can counter Merab's style, mainly because he's more technical everywhere. He's a better striker. He's a more technical wrestler. He's more technical on the ground. He's also big for the weight class. He's strong. He's very fast. He has great footwork. And he also has 5-round cardio. The only thing is Merab might be able to get him tired in like the 5th round or something, but that would require him to miss a lot, fail on a lot of takedowns and miss a lot of punches. And I cannot imagine Umar is not landing counter shots if Merab is missing all over the place, right? Because if he's landing on Umar, it would mean that he's doing something technically right to have that advantage over Umar. But Merab has never been like a high-level technical fighter. He's well-rounded, he's good at everything, he has good wrestling, but his main thing is the cardio. Like, no one can handle that pace, which allows him to win in these different areas where he's not technically better than some of them. Like Peter Yan, for an example. Peter Yan is absolutely a much better striker, technically, but the cardio just didn't allow Yan to get out of first gear. Therefore, Merab was out-striking him. That's not a thing with Umar, though. Umar doesn't have that same problem as a slow starter, and he also has the wrestling that on paper should be at a higher skill level. I think if anybody could beat Merab right now, it is Umar Nurmagomedov. He is the fighter that could beat Merab. Styles make fights, and also Umar is a highly skilled fighter too, and I think Umar resisting the pace of Merab counterpunching him, landing kicks, getting his own takedowns in the fight, is going to cause Merab to fight at an even higher pace than we've ever seen him before. Because even in some 5-round fights, the guy doesn't even look tired after. So he has a lot more in the gas tank, and I think Umar's going to push him enough, technically, to make Merab fight with way more action throughout the fight. Constantly throwing punches, constantly going for takedowns, maybe throwing head kicks and stuff like that, just to see if something can land on Umar effectively. But Umar is so good in the stand-up. I think the striking is going to be the main difference in this fight. I think Umar is just a much better striker. He was able to strike with Corey Sandhagen. Now, he did use his wrestling in order to do so, but even in the striking exchanges you see between them two, Umar is skilled in the striking. He's got fantastic kicks, he has a very good jab, athletic and fast striking skills, whereas Merab is clunky. He will blitz down with combos, force the opponent up against the fence, drops his hands when he throws punches sometimes, and that gets him caught by left hooks. Umar has a left hook knockout on Raoni Barcelos, who's a good striker, in the first round too. Throw out creative techniques like the knee left hook combos. Like, Umar, in my opinion, opinion, is the most well-rounded fighter in the weight class. There are certain fighters that can give him, I think, a more competitive fight than Merab can. I just think Umar stylistically is a horrible fight for Merab. This may be a hot take, but I think Deiveson Figueiredo stylistically is a harder fight for Umar than Merab is. And maybe even Peter Yan, because Umar doesn't put a lot of pressure on his opponents the way Merab does, right? He'll allow Peter Yan to be present in the fight, exchanging with him, making reads and all that stuff. And Umar likes those kind of fights. He likes those technical back and forths. He doesn't drown you in volume the way Merab does. So I do think Yan and like Deiveson are harder fights for Umar than Merab is. The thing with Deiveson, the power he has, I mean, he has insane power. He's very good on the ground. He has good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He would be dangerous in the sense that he can hurt Umar unlike any other fighter can. Right? He's the most dangerous when it comes to finishing Umar at any moment. Doesn't mean that he will. No, I do think Umar is the best fighter in the weight class, but it's a comparison to Merab's style. I don't think Merab is as difficult as someone like Deiveson would be or Peter Yan, which creates that kind of like MMA math inconsistency, right? Some people will think, oh, but Merab ran right through Peter Yan. There's no way Yan can fight with Umar. MMA math does not work. Umar has a different style than Merab. It's a great one. Merab versus Umar. And that card went from really good to insanely stacked with just that title fight. I mean, Islam versus Arman Tsarukyan and Merab versus Umar is going to be like a wrestler's delight. Anyone who's a fan of wrestling is going to love this card, or at least the main event and co-main event. And Coach Khabib has his work cut out for him. He is coaching 2 title fights back to back, him and Javier Mendez. And if both of his guys win, I mean, what does that say about Khabib as a coach? And what does it say about Javier Mendez more than anything? He's been coaching these guys longer than Khabib has. If Umar becomes a champion, it has to go and show that Javier Mendez is one of, if not the greatest MMA coach of all time. I mean, he had Cain Velasquez, Luke Rockhold, Khabib, Islam, Daniel Cormier, who was a double champ, and then Umar all as champions, guys that he directly trained, and he had title contenders like Josh Koscheck and various other fighters. That's not a incredibly talented fighter just walks into the gym and the coach just happens to be his coach. When you have champion after champion in your gym, that means the coach is doing something right. It's not some kind of luck that this golden goose just walked into the gym one day. But it's going to be interesting. If Merab does win the fight, I mean, he has to go down as one of the greatest bantamweights ever. I think right now, you can regard him as one of the greatest bantamweights just off of his wins. He beat Sean O'Malley, Henry Cejudo, Peter Yan, Jose Aldo, Marlon Moraes, back in the day, John Dodson. That's some strong competition right there. And if Umar's on there as well here's the thing. Some people will say that Umar didn't deserve a title shot, right? Which I can see it both ways, right? I could see why he deserved it for the fact that Merab has already beaten some of the top contenders, a rematch with Peter Yan over Umar. I don't know how many fans would prefer Yan versus Merab 2 over Umar versus Merab. But Yan has beaten some great fighters, Song Yudong, Deiveson Figueiredo. There is that going for him. Umar has one ranked win, but it's against Corey Sandhagen, a fighter who Yan beat before, so I can see the argument both ways, right? And if Merab beats Umar, the narrative is going to most likely be that Umar didn't deserve a title shot. Of course, Merab should have beaten him, but that's not really the thing, right? Umar's a very, very good fighter, regardless of how many big wins he has right now. But right now, I can see Merab being top 5 bantamweights of all time. You'll have Dominic Cruz as number 1, right? Then you'll have maybe Aljamain, TJ Dillashaw, then maybe Renan Barão, then maybe Merab. The only competition with him would be Peter Yan, but Yan lost to Merab and he officially lost to Sean O'Malley, even though he should have won on the scorecards, right? Merab beat O'Malley and Yan. So I can see Merab being top 5 greatest bantamweights right now, and if he beats Umar, maybe you put him above Barão. Actually, you could have Merab above Renan Barão even right now, because Renan Barão has all of those losses. And his best win was Uriah Faber. He beat him twice. Other than that, not too strong, man. I don't know what it is. It's like when you think of Renan Barão, you think his competition was way bigger than that, right? You thought he was way greater than when you actually look back in his career. He's still one of the greatest bantamweights ever, but man, he really does fall short of TJ, Aljamain, and Cruz. Like, those 3 are way above Barão. You know what? I would put Peter Yan above Renan Barão at this point. He just has way bigger wins than just beating Uriah Faber. The biggest thing about Barão is that long win streak, and that would be the only argument with him being above someone like Merab Dvalishvili. But no, I don't think so. I think Merab and Peter Yan are in competition of greatness, but the fact that Merab beat Yan and Sean O'Malley and various other fighters, Yan did beat Deiveson, Song Yudong, Corey Sandhagen, a more impressive performance against Jose Aldo, who was actually better than the one that fought Merab, and he beat Jimmy Rivera and John Dodson. He's right next to Merab. So I would say the greatest bantamweight ever is Dominic Cruz. Number 2 is Aljamain. If we include TJ, then number 3 is TJ. Number 4 would be Merab, and then number 5 would be Yan. If Merab beats Umar, would you guys put him above TJ? You definitely could not have Merab above Aljamain and Cruz, that's for sure. I would say he's still below TJ, if you include TJ, but in competition with Jan right there. So it's a big fight, Merab versus Umar, and a stacked card at UFC 311. It's going to be an amazing card, great fights. And what do you guys think about the card overall now? Now that the entire card is official, we have all the fights on there. And what do you think about the co-main event specifically? Do you think Merab is going to win? Do you think Umar is going to win? And where would you put Merab if he beats Umar amongst the greatest bantamweights of all time?